So I am 47 years old. I'm very open about my age. I feel like I am one of the older guys out there still doing it. Definitely one of the older guys with an active YouTube channel or most public-facing older dudes. There are a bunch of us out here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the oldest skater, but I do represent a generation of skater who started way back in the early 90s and has kind of come in and out of blading over the years, but the last 5-6 years I've been skating a lot. I skate every week, and I want to share a few tips on how I got back into blading, what sort of things you need to do to prepare to get into blading again at an older age, older being probably 35 plus. I think that's fair. As soon as you start hurting your back sneezing, I think that's the sign that you're getting old. I see a lot of people on Facebook over the last couple of weeks posting that they're coming back. And I love seeing that. It means that there is still hope that blading will stay strong. We are a strong community now, but we're always welcome to new bladers. And I love seeing more energy, more people coming back into it, because it has given me so much. And I couldn't be happier. I give a lot of that credit to the blading community for just being part of my life. And I would love more people to be involved with it. So, a few tips and tricks. I'm going to talk about how to prep, what you do when you're skating, and then how to recover afterwards. Most important thing, if you're coming back into blading, if you're skating when you're older, set your expectations reasonably. You are not a young buck anymore. Falls hurt, and it takes a long time to recover. You have probably put on a little bit of weight, and it's harder to jump. These are all things that are totally normal. Come to grips with the fact that you're not going to be able to skate as much. You're not going to be able to jump as high. It's going to hurt more. All of those things are just normal, day-to-day. You're going to have to deal with situations. It's not a big deal. The first time that you go out and skate, it's going to suck. You can watch my first video, which was back in 2007, 2008. And it hurt just dropping in on a mini ramp. It hurt just airing over a fun box, and I was winded and I was out of breath. Even though I had been playing ice hockey heavily for 3 to 4 years before then, I was in good shape. But going out there and skating transitions, going out there and skating aggressive is a very different set of muscles that you haven't used in a long time. So set your expectations accordingly. I see a lot of people go out there, think they're, back in high school, they can throw it and, have no problem, and they end up getting worked. And I don't want anybody to get out there, really hurt themselves their first session. Take it slow, put some wheels on, go out there and skate, and just enjoy being on blades again. There's no better feeling in the world than having wheels on your feet. You might have the skates that you used to have. A lot of us had old skates that they kept in a closet, or maybe they put in the garage, or they put in the attic or something like that. Odds are those skates are no longer good. Plastic has a shelf life of about 15, maybe 20 years. So if you are skating these K2 fatties that you loved as a kid, they're probably going to crack and disintegrate on you as soon as you go out there and skate. Those are great skates. You can see my wall. I've got a ton of skates that mean something to me. If those skates still mean something to you, rather than go out and skate them and potentially hurt yourself because they're going to break, and they are going to break, find yourself a spot in your room, in your living room, in your office, wherever. Get yourself a nice little shelf or a display cabinet. Put those skates up there and look at them. Put them under a spotlight if you want, but don't skate them. You are going to hurt yourself. You're going to destroy your skates. Where are my fatties? I have plenty of skates here that have just disintegrated over the years. And it is because plastic is not meant to last forever, especially plastic under stress. which is what we do with it. So my recommendation, definitely keep those skates, hold those skates, love those skates, but put them on the shelf. Get yourself a brand new pair of skates. Skate technology has come a long way. You can find great deals on skates right now. There is a flood of inventory after the COVID times, where a lot of rollerbladers got back into it during COVID. Manufacturers made a ton of skates, and shops bought a ton of skates. That means they have a ton of skates in stock and they're trying to get rid of them. So you can get some great deals on some great skates from the last year or two. You don't have to dive into Play It Again Sports or eBay or anything to find the old skates that you loved. Chances are those skates are going to fall apart. New skates are amazing. They're light, they're responsive, they perform the way that you wish your skates used to perform. Couple of great brands to support. USD is a great brand. They started back in 97, maybe 98, and they're still alive and kicking it. Probably one of the oldest aggressive brands out there. They are part of a bigger company called Power Slide that makes big wheel skates, recreational skates, all that sort of thing. But USD is a great brand. You can find a bunch of their skates at most of the shops. K2 is no longer really part of the aggressive world. They were huge with the fatty and they kind of tapered off over the last few years. They have started making skates again, but not aggressive skates. So if you're interested in aggressive, K2 probably isn't an option. They do have a few soft boots out there though. You can get some USD brand carbon skates, carbon frees, that are a very similar skate to the old K2 fatty I found. Other brands, Rollerblade is still a real popular one. You can find rollerblades out there. The Rollerblade Blank is their newest offering. It's a really modern skate. There's a new company called Them that started about 4 years ago, owned by John Julio. They developed their skate from scratch, so if you're interested in supporting a skater run company, Them Skates is a great option to go for. Razors is still a thing. If you remember Razors back in the days, they're definitely still alive and kicking it. They've got a few great skates now. You can get some great pricing on some of their skates. Colts definitely were one of the most popular skates over the years, and you really can't beat that price. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but there's a bunch of different skate options out there. My skates, I started a skate company called Standard. We make a skate that's our first skate. It is in production now. It should be here in the next month or two. So stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more information on that. But there are a few options out there. The lasting impression I want to leave is you shouldn't skate the skates that you had back in the days. Spend a little bit of money, a couple $100, and get yourself a brand new pair of skates. It is definitely worth it. After you find the skates that you like, you should definitely pick up a helmet. I'm a big proponent of helmets. Pads are important. I started skating with just a helmet, and then I started getting injured. I started hurting my wrists. I started hurting my knees. And now I am at a point where I wear almost full pads every time I go out and skate. Most important thing is the helmet. So this is the helmet that I use. It is a 888 Sweat Saver certified. You want to make sure that you get a certified helmet. You can tell that they're certified. They'll have all the stickers on the inside that explain that they're certified. 888 is a great brand. They support rollerblading, which is always a plus. The Sweat Saver has a nice padding area in here that soaks up your sweat. It's nothing grosser than me going to a skate park and then wringing out while the helmet is still on, all the sweat dripping down to the ground. It is gross. That's usually when I know that the session is about to end. But it also has a nice dense material that keeps your head protected. Wearing a helmet is the most important thing that you're going to do. And we used to never wear helmets as kids, but now we are older, we are wiser, and we have responsibilities. If you have kids, if you have a mortgage, if you have loved ones, it is your duty to take care of yourself. You will be missed if you are in a coma. And I have had friends who are great skaters who have fallen and hit their head and ended up in a coma. And it is no fault of their own. It is not because they were trying something crazy. It's because they were just skating and they tripped. Accidents can happen, and I always take out a little bit of insurance. I always wear a helmet when I skate. You'll see a lot of people wearing helmets nowadays. There's no shame in wearing a helmet. I always wear a helmet. You'll see other people wearing a helmet. More people are coming around to wearing a helmet more often. Obviously, you do you, but I want you to stick around with skating. I don't want you to just come in, get yourself hurt, and never skate again. It is an amazing hobby, amazing sport, amazing pastime. Wearing a helmet will let you skate for longer. After your helmet, I usually recommend wrist guards. A lot of us work on computers. If you don't work on a computer, you're working your phone or something. Messing up your wrist, breaking your wrist, that's going to be a really bad situation. I've hurt my wrist enough that I just wear wrist guards now every time I go on skate. These are the Ennui City Brace wrist guards. These are the best wrist guards I've found. They're made by Powerslide, which is that big company that makes USD as well. They run around 60 bucks, I think. They're not the cheapest wrist guards, but they're very solid. They have a metal thing in the back, metal thing in the front. They have elastic and Velcro, so they hold your wrist really tight. I've hurt my wrist even with these. I'd hate to see what would happen if I didn't have these. I do fall down a lot. It's just the nature of the sport. So making sure that I can still type in the morning is important. I always wear wrist guards whenever I skate now. After wrist guards, shin guards is the next important thing. You might think I was going to say knee pads, but shin guards, most important thing. I buy the cheap shin guards from Target, from Walmart, from wherever. This is a Umbro soccer shin guard. I just buy them whenever I forget that I need one. They don't wear out. So long as you get a shin guard with a little bit of padding in the back. I have split my shin open numerous times. I have gotten stitches on my shins in the last 2 years. And I was wearing shin guards. I was wearing skate shin guards. They didn't do much. I found that soccer shin guards are the best shin guards on the market, even though they're not designed for skating. They have the plastic, hard plastic on the outside with a padding on the inside. It is perfect for what we do. There might be a skate shin guard out there that is better for what we do. I haven't found it, and I've tried a bunch of them. They're either too big, too restrictive. These are nimble, they're small, they fit where I need them. I slip out a lot when I'm doing soul tricks or when I'm doing royales, and I fall down on my shins a lot. Having a shin guard will keep you from getting a big hematoma bubble, and it will keep you from splitting that shin open. There's nothing worse than getting stitches in your 40s. It's just so embarrassing. And it sucks. I mean, it takes longer to recover. So definitely recommend a shin guard. Wear them under your pants. Nobody needs to know. Finally, knee pads. These are the knee pads that I wear. These are the ALK13 Alcatraz, which is a silly name. They are a French company. I don't know if you can get them in the US. Maybe you can, but these are the best knee pads, hands down. They are a soft padding, little bit of a ripstop material, even though you can see that I've already ripped them open a little bit. The best thing about these knee pads is they also have side protection. So as I slip out on royales or I miss on a soul trick, I typically don't come straight down on my knee. I'll come down on my sides. So I hit my hips and I hit the side of my knee. This protects the side of your knees, side of your legs. Really smart design. I think they were like 70 bucks. They weren't cheap. I think you can get them in the US. If you can't, you might need to import them. But these are the knee pads that I recommend. Any knee pad will be good. But looking for a knee pad that has a little bit of side protection, that is the game changer for me. So highly recommend these knee pads if you can find them. If not, I have tried the Ennui knee pads. They worked great. I tried the G-Form knee pads. They worked great. But there's nothing better than the ones with a little side padding. That is my gear breakdown. So always recommend that you get some protective gear before you go out and skate. Always recommend that you get yourself a fresh pair of skates. Don't try to use your old helmet. Don't try to use your old skates. You make some money now. You can buy yourself whatever skates you want. Get yourself some skates that you like. Get yourself a helmet. Bare minimum, helmet and skates, and go out there and skate. That is the prep, the gear prep stuff. So before you go out and skate, there's a lot of great skate parks now. Don't try to go skate street. Skating street when you're older, it's fine, but I always feel weird. You know, you go to a park and there are kids who are having a birthday party or something and the parents are younger than you. It's just a weird look. So we have so many amazing skate parks here in North Carolina. I'm sure that you have skate parks near you. Find a local skate park, go out there and skate. You can skate as long as you want. You can wax as much as you want. The police aren't going to bug you. The parents aren't going to bug you. The kids are going to be annoying, but that is just life. But you can go out there and skate. You can practice in a controlled environment that's designed for skating. Street skating is still a thing. I love going street skating when I do. There's nothing better than doing a nice long grind on a crunchy ledge. But that is the exception for me. I go out there and skate every week, and I always skate a skate park. That is the first place that I start. Before I go out and skate, I'm stretching. And I know that this is silly. We never used to stretch as kids. But now if I don't stretch, I hurt myself. I've found that there's two types of injuries that I get. The impact injuries can be solved by pads. So I wear wrist guards, I wear knee pads, I wear shin guards, and I wear a helmet. That basically solves all of the impact injuries. The others are the strains, the pulled muscles, the rips, stuff like that. Usually that's due to the muscles being too tight and me extending them too far when they're not ready to be extended. Rollerblading uses a lot of different muscles, a lot of core strength, a lot of flexibility in your legs. It's really important to stretch. I stretch every day. So before I get out of bed, I'm already moving my neck around, stretching my neck, even laying down flat, in the bed. I get out of the bed and I sit on the side of the bed and I stretch my back out. I stretch my legs out. I stretch my neck out. I stretch my lower back. I do a lot of stretches just sitting down on the side of the bed. I try to do yoga twice a week. And it's not a long practice, maybe 15 minutes, but I have a yoga mat that I keep here at the warehouse. I use this every couple of days. And I roll it out and I do some slow stretching to definitely extend my back. My back is where I get most of my tightness and most of my injuries, lower back especially. I do a lot of sit-up style stretches. I do a lot of twisting stretches, things like that. Anything to loosen your back and give you a little bit more range of motion, that is the key. If you're into massage, that is a good thing to do. If you're into chiropractic, that is a good thing to do. But stretching, daily stretching is invaluable. You're going to need it. Your body is older. Your muscles are tighter. You need to loosen them up. Leg stretches as well. I was a hockey player. We would do leg stretches. There are a bunch of great leg stretches. Make sure that you do the ones where you stretch your legs all the way out. You put your one foot down, you lift up one leg, kind of like a ballet dancer, and you stretch your legs so that you can get your inner muscles done. You stand kind of like a flamingo and pull your foot back to get your quads stretched. Do the one where you're standing on the stairs and you lower one of your feet and lower the other feet to get the back of your calves stretched. All of those will help you with jumping, and it will help you avoid injury by tight muscles. My number one injury is always my lower back. And whenever I have a lower back issue, it's because I haven't stretched enough, I didn't warm up enough, and it kills. So definitely stretch before any time you skate. Try to get into a habit of stretching every day. It will be better for you overall in life. Skating is just a motivation to get yourself back in shape. So that is all the things that I do before I go out in there and skate. Whenever I go to the skate park, I take it slow. I usually do about 10 minutes of warm-ups. After I do my stretches, I'll skate around a little bit, low impact. I do airs over transitions, sometimes airs to flat. Make sure that if you're doing an air to a flat, that you don't come down stiff legs. Make sure that you absorb as much into your legs as you can. Super important that you get your heart rate moving, you get your blood moving so that you stay warm. Much more difficult when it's cold outside, and we are entering the cold season here in the United States. So it's important that you spend some time to warm yourself up. Grinds will come. It'll take some time to get back into grinds, but focus on one grind at a time. Get it so that you can grind everything at the skate park. So for me, that was my soul grind. That was my first trick that I did when I came back. And I just had in my head that I was going to soul grind everything. And there's no shame in doing soul grinds on everything. You can soul grind every obstacle at the skate park and be happy. It will help you relearn what skating is like. It will help you strengthen those muscles. Remember those muscles that haven't used in the last 10, 15 years. Go out there and soul grind everything. Go out there and soul grind and then come off fakie. So jump on forward and then turn and land backwards. Go out there and skate really fast. Then do the fastest soul grind that you can. There's so many variations of soul grinds that you can do. Focus on one grind. It's not about progressing anymore. It's about having fun every time you go out there and skate. There are a lot of, in the past, there were a lot of expectations for what made a skater. And a lot of people quit skating because of it. You know, there were a lot of judging on if you were good or if you were doing the right tricks or if, you know, you were a core skater or whatever. We just watched Brink a couple of weeks ago. So if you were a core skater or if you weren't or, you know, whatever. There's so much more leniency now with what skating is. You can go out there and just cruise and nobody will look any different of you. You can go out there and just work on toe rolls and heel rolls and just do wall rides all day. Nobody will care. Skating is at a point now where it has progressed, where all of the tricks have been discovered. There's still, you know, new stuff coming out from time to time that, you know, makes people look at skating in a different angle. But nobody cares what you do anymore. There's a great post, I'll see if I can dig it up, from Al DeLego back in the days, where a lot of people come back to blading and they see, you know, posts on rollerblading or on Reddit or something, and they're like, where are the hammers, right? And I'm sure anybody who has been, you know, blading for a while knows this guy that comes in. There's always a guy that comes onto the channel and says, where are the hammers? Blading was so hard back then and now it's soft. Where are the hammers? Well, Al's point, and to summarize, is that you left and skating has evolved. It's not the same skating that it was when you were skating. It is different now. And the beauty, from my perspective, of skating now is that it doesn't have to be anything. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can go out there and just skate and have a great time. You can go out there and do soul grinds as fast as you want and have a great time. You can progress and try to do as many tricks, learn as many grinds as you can, learn new grinds that you never knew back in the days. It's up to you what you want to make skating. That's the freedom that you get with rollerblading now. And I absolutely love this era of skating. It is the most welcoming, the most inclusive era that we've ever had. And yeah, I'm glad that you're interested in coming back into it and glad that you're watching this to learn a little bit more about it. Go out there and have fun. That's all that matters. All right, so that is during the session. So again, summarize that section. Make sure that you take some time warming up. Do lots of stretches. I didn't mention, but bring a water bottle. A lot of water fountains at skate parks suck. Bring yourself a water bottle. Super important to stay hydrated when you're out there skating. Take it slow. Set your expectations reasonable. One grind at a time. Stick with that grind. Grind everything that you can there. And just have fun skating. If you find that you enjoy just skating down transitions and just airing this little gap over and over again, do your thing. Like, nobody's judging you. We all skate differently. We all have different things that we're into. Skating can be whatever you want it to be. It's awesome and it's yours. So make it whatever you want. After your session, there's a cool down period. I'll remind you, I'm 47. When I was starting skating, in my early teens, I remember there was an article in Daily Bread about skating in your 30s. And I look back at my 30s and I'm like, dude, if I were 30 now, I would be amazing. Like, I would love to be 30. 30 seems so far, so long ago. I'm 47, it's old. Your body doesn't hold up the way that it used to. So a few things that I've found that I do after a session that allow me to function for the rest of the day and function for the rest of the week. First of all, I set my expectations reasonably. I don't push it too hard. I will skate for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. More than that, and my body just can't keep up. I get too tired, I get too fatigued, and I start threatening to hurt myself. The more tired that I am, the weaker my muscles will get. I don't force myself. I don't care about leaving the session early. I'm too old for that. If people want to hang out, I'll hang out and I'll, drink my water and I'll take some clips or something, post some clips on the Instagram of people skating. But I have a hard limit of how much I'll be able to skate because I listen to my body and I know how much I can do. On the drive home, I drink a lot of water. It's really important to stay hydrated. It helps your body recover. There are electrolyte drinks that you can put into your water bottle. I do those during the summer. I don't do them much in the winter, but during the summer I get dehydrated pretty quickly. Good gauge is the amount of sweat that you have coming out. If you are sweating a lot, that means that water is going out. That means that salt is going out. You need some sort of an electrolyte drink will help you balance yourself out. I am very fortunate that I have heated seats in my car. Not only is this great in the morning when it's cold, it is great after a session to keep my body loose, especially my back, because my back gets worked a lot when I'm skating. I put my heated seats on. I'm usually sweating in the back, but it's fine. I just lean back, let the heat work. I put my hands on my quads and I lift myself up. I move myself around, try to stretch out that back because there's nothing worse than the muscles getting tired and then they start getting cold and they start getting tight. And as they get tight, they start limiting your mobility. What you want to do is you keep stretching them out, move your body around. Helps a lot. That's usually the drive home. I try to hydrate myself for the rest of the day. I only skate aggressive once a week. Sometimes twice a week, but I don't push myself. And I don't know if it's skate aggressive or if it's a number of hours during the week. 2 hours a week is enough for me for aggressive. Any more than that, and I feel like I'm kind of pushing it. I can skate big wheels, so I can just put on my 90 millimeter wheels and go out and skate around my neighborhood. I love doing that. But the jumping, the falling, the impact that you get from skating aggressive, I limit that to about 2 hours a week. Anything more than that, and I feel like my body just doesn't recover quickly enough. When I get home, throw all my pads and everything in the wash my pads, wash my my clothes and everything like that because it stinks. Don't leave them in your bag. Don't leave them in your trunk. You're older than that now. You need to take care of your stuff. Dry out your skates. Make sure that your skates don't get that funk. You're older. You know what to do. Take care of your stuff. Always take a nice hot shower afterwards. I know a lot of people take cold showers, cold baths, thing like that. I'm a hot shower, hot bath guy. I feel like that works better with my muscles. I think either way is good. Having an extreme on one end or the other. Warmth, will loosen up your muscles. Cold is good for your circulation, I guess. Either way you look at it. A bath is really great for that evening. I love a long, 30-minute bath or so. A hot bath for me. Epsom salts sometimes. I don't know if I really believe in the Epsom salts thing, but sometimes I do it. Sometimes it works, I feel. I don't know. But I do know that the heat really helps, and then it allows me to stretch again. So at the end of the day, after all of that, before bed, I do the yoga routine again. I stretch out my back, stretch out my legs, stretch out all of the muscles that I used that day to make sure that they are as loose as possible, because when I wake up the next morning, things are going to be tight because I am not stretching them, I'm not using them. It is a really tough day. That next morning is really the worst day after a hard session. So make sure that you stretch yourself out that night. Lots of, bath is always a good thing. Try to avoid the alcohol. I do drink occasionally, but after a session, beer isn't a bad thing. But heavily drinking to numb the pain, bad idea. Give yourself some ibuprofen if it's really that bad. But yeah, I try to avoid doing that. The next day, it's going to suck. Few things that you can do. Again, stretching is really important. I am a big fan of percussion massagers. This is a Theragun. I'm sure that you've seen them before, but basically what they do is this goes very fast. Turn it on real quick. Goes really fast, and you use it on muscles that are tight. What this thing does, it just destroys those muscles. It will loosen them up. I get a really bad case in the lower back, so I use this. The way this designed is really nice. You can kind of grip it wherever you want. You turn it on, you put it on your lower back, you move it up and down, a little bit of pressure, find that spot that needs a little bit of stretch yourself out. Really helps. I use this after almost every session. The day after the session, I'm using this almost all day. Funny enough, so this one is a less expensive one. I think $60, maybe $80. They actually sent me this. So this is a Bob and Brad branded percussion massager. Bob and Brad is a YouTube channel that I watch. Two old dudes, older than me, I guess, who are physical therapists, I think. Hilarious guys. They got great personality. They sent this to me, so I don't know how they found the channel, but they sent this to me, and it works. It's not expensive. It was sub $100. I think this one was like $250. This was fine. So point is that you can get whatever price point of a percussion massager that you can afford. More is probably going to be better, but any of them are going to work. And I found that these are kind of the secret weapon to making your body work again the next day. It works in every area. Use it on my shoulders, use it on my body, my back, everywhere. This one was great. Charges over USB. Again, not a review, not getting paid to do this, but they did send me this. Recommend it. It's a good percussion massager. It's very inexpensive. If you've got the means, this is my heavy duty. This packs more of a punch, probably a bigger battery. It hits harder. It's kind of the one that I use more often, but any of them are going to work. It's really up to you, but I definitely recommend investing in a percussion massager. They are game changing. Any tight muscles, legs, I use on my legs, I use on my calves. Any tight muscles, this thing will just obliterate them, loosen them up. It can hurt a little bit, but it's a good hurt. And again, you're just trying to recover so that you can be ready for the next session. Finally, foam rollers. With your yoga mat, I highly recommend getting a foam roller. This one is made by TP Therapy. I've had this one. I have a few different colors of them. I leave this one at the warehouse. I have one at home as well. Foam rollers are really great for a variety of ways. It stretches out those muscles. There's a fascia, I think it's called, which is kind of like a wrapper for your muscles. Not like M&M wrapper, but like a candy wrapper. By using a foam roller and rolling over it, so you'll put this on your yoga mat and then you'll lay on it and you'll roll over it. It isolates that area that you want to focus on. I use this a lot on my back, again, lower back. My back, I don't use this much on my legs, but I know people that do. Lower back, upper back, probably where I focus the most with this. It helps stretch out those muscles. It helps loosen up the muscles. This with a percussion massager, kind of the 1-2 punch for recovery. Highly recommend getting yourself a foam roller and using it in conjunction with a percussion massager. That's pretty much it. So obviously listen to your body and don't push it. That is the main message of recovery after a session. If you are in pain, pain might be something that you need to get helped, get some professional help with. I have been able to get through most of my injuries with a mix of these things. So taking hot baths, percussion massager, yoga, stretching over the next couple of days, you're able to fix your body. I usually get injured when I don't stretch well, when it is cold outside, or when I'm pushing myself farther than I am ready to. And those three things, it's hard to not do. It's just nature of the beast. You know, you're not going to always have the perfect situation, and you're never going to stop yourself if you're in one of those zones and you want to progress or you want to try something hard. This weekend, I jacked myself up because the transition at the skate park was wet. And I was going up and carving, and I slipped out, and I fell, and I tweaked the side of my back. And it hurts all the way up to my neck. And it sucks. And that's just something that I have to deal with. So I use the percussion massager. I take long hot baths. I try to loosen up my legs, loosen up my back, loosen up my neck. And every day it gets a little bit better. It's going to suck. It's kind of like Fight Club, where you're going to have these injuries after skating, and that's just a thing that you're going to do. And it kind of makes you feel like you're alive. Not that I recommend that you get hurt, but it's definitely one of the things that skating is going to be a part of your life now. As you go out and skate, you're going to get injured. So take it easy, set your expectations, and make sure that you've got some tools to recover. Most importantly, don't push it too hard. You know, it took me 5 years of skating every week to get to where I am now. And I'm not in any way at the top of my game, or as good as I can be, or as good as any, pros or anything like that. But I can hold my own, and I could do all the tricks that I want to do, and I feel great when I'm out there skating. And that, I think, should be the goal for anybody coming back into it, or anybody who's skating now, is that you should feel confident skating any obstacle that you want to, and you should have a great time every time you go out there and skate. It's great to have you back. It's great that you're here. Obviously, if you have any questions, leave a comment on this video. I'd love to help you get back into blading. And yeah, have a great time.